Hey fellow comrades, how you guys been doing? It's your boys in here, and this video is gonna be a tutorial video. Now I'm just gonna say it, this is like my second tutorial I ever did. I'm a big fan of tutorials, of people sharing their practices, sharing their knowledge. So if there is anybody out there that knows a better practice, leave it in the comment section below. Love to hear it, but this is the method I currently use, and this is a method I will share with you guys. For all you guys that have a very bad uploading speed, this may save you time. And my goal of this video is to give you guys the best quality for the best file size that is acceptable. And I will also show you what a bad performance would also look like. So you're gonna get everything. So yeah, that's basically about that. Let me go straight to the proof of the videos that I made. This is the original video that I rendered. It's 1 gigabyte and 58, as you guys can see, 580 megabytes, so 1 gigabyte and a half. And it is an original, rendered by Sony Vegas on, I believe, 10,000 bitrate. So it's not the best. On 1080p I recommend you to render in 40,000 bitrate. It's gonna make the file size like 3 times bigger, but at the same time it's gonna give you the best quality possible for that resolution, that is. Here we have a bad encoding one. Now bear in mind its size is like 3 times smaller, and that is considerably big difference right there. But the quality really did suffer with this one, and this is what I consider a bad encode. They're using the same program, Handbrake, and this is also recommended by a lot of people without recommending Handbrake nightly. And this is the version we're going to be using for this video. Again, just bear with me here, guys. If you have a very bad uploading speed that you're limited by your town, I really hope this guide is going to help you out. It's not going to be the shortest guide out there, but I don't have this scripted. I'm just doing this on top of my head, and hopefully it's going to save people time. In general, it should save time. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be minutes well worth spent. I also want to go into encode best. Now for some reason there is no thumbnail, but the video works. The video works. I can show you guys that the video will work. But before I show you guys the best results, I want to go with the original one. So you guys will kind of like get the whole idea of what the picture looks like. So we're going to start with the beginning. You guys can see there is my console. This is my Elgato that I currently get. The picture is okay. Everything seems to be working fine. Then we go to my recordings of Zelda, just a small little example, and I'm gonna stop here so you guys can like see a little bit, just see the picture, how it looks like. It's got sharp, you know, the sharpness is there. It's not muddy, you know, it's not a big mess, a giant mess. I want you guys to like try to memorize this, especially with the horses, you know, those little sparks down there, the 3 mark symbols that I've used. You guys can see there's no really big mess to them. You know, if the picture would have been suffering big time, then the sharpness of the land, of the mountains right there would not be showing. There is a lot of little details that you would not be able to see. So there's a lot of things you can spot here that are on point. And this is of course for that reason the best picture quality for this particular video. Then I made the one by using Handbrake with random settings that are recommended by a lot of people, but there's one particular setting that they didn't use, and I want to specifically talk about that. There's some guys that did mention this one, but there's not a lot of it, and this is why I made in this video especially. You will see what I mean. So we're gonna go back to this one, and I want you guys to really directly look onto this one and compare it with the previous one. I'm gonna show you guys all the examples together so you will see the difference of the picture, but you will see that this one is definitely suffering. I'm gonna try to set up here, right here. You can see that there's a lot of things suffering here. If you look back, just look down on the horses, you know, those symbols, those 3 symbols that I used, just 2 of them right now. You can see it's muddy, like the whole picture is a mess. If you look at Link riding horse, the whole thing is a mess. The distance, the mountain, the grass looks smoother, but for some reason it's not sharper. We're looking for sharpness, but at the same time smoothness. So they're both things together, and it's a big mess. So you can see that it really does suffer, especially on the text. If you look in the text closely or your character closely, you can see it's a big difference. And this is why the file size is smaller. And yes, it is smaller, but it's not something you would actually accept for 1080p. Basically, you know, for 1080p one would actually expect much better quality, but this is definitely not acceptable, especially for the file size it gives you. So if I tell you that you can get a quality that is very near the original one at only 241 megabytes. That's right, we have destroyed this file size by like 7 times. That is insane. And I'm gonna show you right now what I mean. This video does go to the very end, so you see it's not like because the thumbnail is there, it's still working. And we're gonna go back to the beginning, and I want you guys to really look onto the picture. After this video is done, I'm gonna show you guys the 3 examples, and you can base it whichever you like the best. I want you guys to look closely on the picture, everything that is done. There. Look at Link. Look at the horse. Look at the distant horses and the grass. The grass is much more cleaner. The horse is much more smoother. There's no real jagginess, no mess around, and especially on the symbols down below. If you look closely, there's no mess. Like there was a giant pixelated mess, one would say, like a distortion, like colors going through the lines they shouldn't have. This is a much cleaner picture to the previous one, but how can that be? If this file size is 231 megabytes and that one is 590. That's because this file size has been compressed the right way, while the previous one wasn't. And I'm in here to bring you guys quality. I'm in here to give you guys the chance to bring people quality, but at the same time save you time. For me personally, 1.5 GB video file size takes me about 12 hours to upload. I'm not a madman to be doing that because I cannot do other things on top of that. You know, watching videos as it uploads is a hassle because with slow upload rate, everything else becomes a mess. And it's depending on one side that has so much burden on it that it just doesn't work. So this way you will still save time. You will still need to render it. You're still gonna need to encode it somewhere else through a program, but that's much better, and it's gonna take you, like, for example, like uploading original file size for me would take me like 12 hours, while encoding the best encoded one, if I put that onto YouTube, you will see that this video is gonna be uploaded in like an hour, and that is so many hours saved up. So even if it takes you like handbrake encoding this video for quite a while, it will still save you time in a long run. So this is why this video is meant to be made that way. Okay, so I've talked enough. You guys saw the videos that I made. So how did I manage to get this best encoding results? I'm going to show you right now. First of all, you have to download Handbrake Nightly. Don't go with any other version, just go with Handbrake Nightly. I'm gonna leave it down in the description. Go there and download it and do everything that I will be showing you guys here in a second. You're on the first page. You just click Web Optimizer, which makes it best when uploading on YouTube and whatnot. After that, you saw at the beginning I have like a black bar, and you know, in the end, and the left and right. Because of that, it actually recognized that, and because of that reason, I'm just gonna put zeros. Everything here has to be 0, and then your original file size has to also be, you know, put onto here with the right resolution. Whether or not that is 1280 by 720 or 920 by 1080, it depends on your video, it depends on what you want to upload. If you're doing 1080, I recommend you go with 60 FPS because it's the real resolution support format, while you can go 30 FPS, but that kind of defeats the purpose. At that point, it's pretty much just go 720, you know. I mean, you can go still, but at the same time, I don't know, I think if you go 920 by 1080, you may as well just go 60 FPS full frames per second. But with that being said, we are on the video section. We can skip filters, really nothing else we have to do here. Here we go, same as source, so your original video that you put on here, it's gonna be still sticking with the original source's frame rate and constant frame rate, because we need that consistency. There's gonna be no distortion in the frame rate of the video. Basically, after that, we got constant quality. Now if you put this on more, it's gonna give you guys way worse picture, but it's gonna be like a file size that's smaller. But if you go up here, like if you go to 15, it's gonna defeat the purpose, because the file size is gonna be huge and the video picture is probably going to be better, way better than 22, but 22 is the default one, and 22 is also the one that you saw on this video. So I recommend like 23, 22, 21, but anything like going to 20 is already kind of overdoing it, but you can still go to 22. It's the default version. You can like go to 23 to 20. That's my recommended. The smaller you go in numbers here, if you go to 18 or 19 or 20, it's gonna take more time for your video to completely finish. So yeah, that's also a factor. Basically after that, we're just gonna leave it at 22. After that, we're gonna go to optimize the video, and we're not gonna do anything here. We're gonna go back to video codec, and this is the thing that makes the whole change. You have to go to H.265 10-bit X.265. Click this. You're gonna see that fast decode disappear for some reason. There's some other versions that do have this, which makes your video encode faster, but it doesn't have it here, so I hope that it works like this. I'm not too sure, but for me personally, like, I'm gonna like waste about an hour or 50 minutes encoding this video to reduce the file size and preserve the quality, but that's the 1 hour I will gladly give to be able to save up like the next 8 hours of uploading on YouTube. That would be huge, you know. But if I can like spend 1 hour here and then like half an hour there, that's already like 1 hour and a half we're uploading on YouTube, and not like 12 hours. That already showcased the tremendous time spent, time saving, and this is why I think this video codec is the most important change you have to make. For this codec will give you the best picture, but at the same time the smallest of file size. I also go to optimize the video, and you can go to ultra fast if you want, but here's the thing, it's gonna do your video faster, but it's not gonna have like this file size is not gonna be what you want, and for that reason it is set on fast, but I actually go on medium. Now you need a decent CPU, or else medium is gonna take a while to encode your video. But again, as I mentioned, the difference between slow and medium is about like 10 minutes to 15 minutes longer, but the file size is going to be smaller, the quality is going to be better, and not to mention that the file size smaller is still going to save you time on YouTube. When it comes down to uploading, if your uploading is very bad, there's still going to be huge change. And if you're encoding here and it takes a long time, you can still do all sorts of things, but if you're uploading longer there, that is already a resource used and your internet connection used, and you are kind of stuck in, you know, having a slower browsing experience and all sorts of other things, and you don't want that, you know. So basically this site has already been done. Let me check in case. You can also save these settings if you want, so you don't have to constantly make these changes every time you make a video in here. You can just save it up there, and this audio section is where it's at. This is not, you know, the biggest of changes, but it's definitely a change that I recently made, and I regret it for not knowing better before, but at least I learned over time, and I want to share you guys what I mean. AAC is good, but if you go to AAC, you're gonna have way worse audio than you had when you put your video in here. And I used to hear a difference, but I couldn't tell where the difference was coming from. I was thinking it's Handbrake doing it in my audio settings, but I was going messing around with like 320 and messing around with this, but of course I would not go mono, but just generally speaking, it was a mess. And then I thought maybe MP3 or, you know, something else, but no, you have to go AAC pass through, because this, as you guys can see, options go away. There's a reason, because your audio is gonna stay the same. So it pretty much works the same as source here. So it uses the same as source audio your original file has. So there's not gonna be any change with it. That is very important, because you don't want your audio to change, because if your audio changes from the original one, which when it comes down to rendering stuff and putting it on things and encoding things, you don't want your stuff to change too much. This same speaks for quality. Your first video is gonna have the best quality and the best audio. If stuff change, it will probably go for the worst. Even if it's a slight change, it will go for the worst. So this is pretty much all the things you have to do to make the video that I did. The biggest change here, the most important thing, is video codec. The most important thing is this right here. H.265 10-bit X.265. Everything else, you can mess how much you want, but you never mess around with this. You have to have it there if you want your file size to be as acceptable as mine was with encode of best, which you guys saw as proof. The video was absolute stellar. For the file size, I'm impressed. This is 241 megabyte, 23-minute long video. And yes, it is true that when you think about it, it is mostly recorded in games like this, which are heavily 2D pixelated, and they're definitely not 3D demanding. But if you see, it's crystal clear. And yes, for the 3D, it's probably going to be like a bigger file size, but you have to understand that you see the 3D performance here, and it is stellar. It is so close to the original file size with such small changes, like such small differentiate, that it's so hard to be able to spot them. And that is what I consider to be the quality that is acceptable, but at the same time this file size is going to save you so many hours. If you're a constant YouTuber and when you bring people quality, we're in here to bring people quality. You know, I was always like that. I had times when I was spooting out videos, and even this tutorial is probably half-baked. It's not that well made, and it's not scripted, it's anything, but I want to help a person out there. And I also have I take great pleasure and joy to make something of an educational video. Do we say, well, it's not really that educational, but let's just say that there's some little shortcuts to a program that a lot of people will spot and they will never use. They will not dive into it. And I regret ever since with audio. I've been doing the whole AAC so long, for years and years and years, for so many videos, for like, I don't know, like 600 videos. I never thought about doing better. I never thought about checking on it. And with the recent, you know, statements of games coming out to Pokemon Sword and Shield, I want to bring you guys quality. I want to bring myself to have the best time uploading. You don't want to overdo your computer at the same time. You want to have stuff balanced. And I think such small things like AAC pass-through or going to the video and change video codec is the things that change the whole video experience, and your whole thing is going to be easier to mess around with, and easier things. Shortcuts are great if you find it. If you have the time to educate yourself about the programs you have in hand, there's so many things you can do. And this is why this video was made. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy, be sure to give a like. If you find anything annoying about this video, and if you hate it, you'll be sure to give a dislike. In either way, it's fine. Of course, if you have any more suggestions about a better program out there that will be able to, like, let's say, encode your video faster and at the best performance and the best quality, be sure to share your knowledge with us. I believe as a human being, you know, I don't know, like, general knowledge of the life. I'm full of nothing. Like, I know so little, and I want to learn. There's so many things I want to learn, and I know there's people out there that are pros, there are people out there that are experts that know what they're doing, and they can definitely, like, help us out in learning stuff and shortcuts like this and all sorts of things. So I'm all ears about that, and I really appreciate it. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that would really appreciate your help as well. So if you know anything, and if you find this tutorial helpful, then let me know. You know, any help is appreciated with the comment section feedback. That is also very motivating. I really like feedback in general. I like when people are being interactive. I try to be interactive with the latest videos, so heavy chances is if you're gonna leave a feedback, and if it's replyable, then I'll probably do it. Yeah, but that's gonna be it for me. So hope you guys have enjoyed this video as much as I did making it, and see you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace.